In the last video, we published some images on our post and we clicked the option Insert Gallery. So let me show you what that does here. You'll notice that when the site's active, if a person hovers over the images, they get the finger here letting them know that there's an option. So what happens is when they click on it, it brings them into this little gallery, and then they can click the buttons on the left or right here to scroll through your images. So that's one of the options that you have by default in here. So let me go ahead and hit the escape key, go back here, and then I need to log into my site to make some changes. And then once logged in, takes me back into the dashboard. So let's make yet another post. And this time we're going to add some images and try something a little bit different. So again, you just click on this little button right here. Super easy way to do this is just to drop your images in here. I want you to notice a couple things before we do this. First of all, it tells you what images WordPress supports. Then it tells me how much memory I'm using so far out of the 3 gig that they give me for free. You can pay to do more. But what would probably be a smarter bet is you can also go upload from URL, and you could copy a URL from, say, a Flickr account, which lets you keep pretty good amount of images there for free as well. You can also upload from your media library, which we'll talk about in a little more detail, but basically the media library stores all the stuff that you've already used. So if you did want to use an image again that you've already used, chances are it's going to save you some memory from just using it right here from the media library. But we're going to go from the computer. We're going to grab some new images this time. So I'll grab this the larger size files that I have, and you should do something similar. Make some test images for yourself of various sizes. Keep in mind that you probably don't want to go wider than maybe 800 to 1,000 pixels across, but try it with different size images to see what you get. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here, and I can see that these are the images that I've added. So if I click Save All Changes, now brings me in here, shows the images that I've uploaded. And then what we're going to do this time is, instead of doing it as a gallery, we'll do a slideshow. Do want you to notice, if you do a gallery, you have a choice of how many columns for the gallery. So last time we had 3, which is why you saw 1 image, 1 image, 1 image, but you can choose more or less columns. So this time we'll go Insert Slideshow and publish our page, and we'll see what that looks like. So now this is what this post looks like, is it has a little automated slideshow in there. So for very little bit of work, you get quite a bang for your buck. I want to show you more images that you have with your options. So I'm creating yet another post, drag 2 images in here, you can see them, but this time before I click on Save All Changes, I'm going to go into one of these images. And this time you can give it a title, and I'm going to start out each thing with the name of the title. So I'll put title for number 5, because I want you to see which ones actually show up and which ones don't. Now here's the way these typically work on any given theme. Is the title is what you see when the mouse rolls over the image. Alt text or alternate text is for screen readers, for people who have who don't see well, who need a screen reader to work on the web. The caption is a block of text that's attached that appears below the image in the post. The description doesn't show up, but let's say if you had, it's mostly for search engines, and let's say you had an image that had a bunch of different people under it, and you wanted the search engines to be able to possibly get to your image by any one of the people's names. Then you have the link that would take you to that image. Then you have an alignment, whether you want the image to align to the left, center, or the right. And then you have these size items. And so this shows, do you want it to show as just a thumbnail, medium, large, or full size? These don't always work like you think they would, which is why it's good to learn a little bit about Photoshop and make the images the size that you want. But I'm going to check full size so we can see if it does indeed come out larger than image 6, which I didn't do this for. So now we're going to click here on Insert into Post. And let's go ahead, publish the page, and take a look at it. Here you can see on the published post that it did indeed show up at a larger size. There's the caption that we put in. When we hover the mouse over it, we get the title for number 5. We also, on this particular theme, get the address bar that comes up there as well. And so if I scroll down to the first one I did with the similar size images, you can see that that's the default size that was checked, that medium size. Where here I checked full size, and since the image wasn't too big to fit in there, it did indeed put it at the full size. On that last set of images that I worked with, when I entered in the first stuff for the first image, I clicked on Insert into Post, and that's why I only received one of the images. So instead of doing that, you can enter all this information in here, then just go to the next one in the list, click on Show, add some information for that. I entered in some information for image number 4. I haven't entered in anything for 3, and I'm just going to try a little experiment here, which is what I highly encourage you to do on all this stuff. But here I'm clicking thumbnail. This one I clicked full size, and so instead of clicking Insert into Post on either one, I'm going to click Save All Changes, which is going to take us back to this menu right here. And so this time I am going to do a slideshow, and let's see how that stuff affects a slideshow. So we see there's really not much difference. Clicking on the thumbnail didn't make a difference, and I suppose that's just because there's this much room in the slideshow, so it used this size image. I'm not sure if it's the actual size or not, but again, that's where a lot of experimentation pays off. You can see one difference is there is the caption that was placed on 4. There is no caption placed on 3. Alright, now let's talk about organizing your blog. As you can see, I have quite a few blogs that I've done just throughout making these videos. And if a user wanted to get to a specific post, it's helpful if you categorize your posts. And here, the only category choice I have is uncategorized, which is the default. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back into Dashboard and we go under Posts, there is an option here called Categories. So what we do is just come up with names for, or categorize our things. So I have ones in here that are just a test, right? The first couple that I did. So I'll put that in here, click on Add New Category, and then let's come up with another one. So I had one that had a video on it, but let's say I'm going to have multiple with videos. So that'd be a good category. And then we'll have one for images. Add new category. So you can see they show up over here, and when you hover the mouse over you, if you misspelled something, you can edit them and so on. So in the future, when we create a new post, we will add that category to it. So I created another post, just another test, and then what you do is you go over to categories and you check what it applies. So just a test, check that, publish the page, and it'll get published with that. But not only can we add the categories to our new posts, and we should always do that, but we can go back and edit the old ones and add categories to them. And there's a couple ways to edit things that you've already made. Generally, you just go in here to under posts, or maybe pages if you're working with pages, and we would go to all posts, And then we'll see a list of our posts of which we could click on and edit. But if it's something quick, like just adding a category to it, then you can go under quick edit and you'll see some really quick choices here. If this one was what had images in it, so we click image, then go down to the next one. Oh, let's see, click update first, then go to the next one, click edit, and so on until we get appropriate. I clicked the wrong one. I clicked edit instead of quick edit, but same thing. In here, we just click. This is an image one. Uncheck uncategorized. Update. And even in quick edit, you do need to uncheck uncategorized because right now this would show up with two categories. So let me just hover the mouse back over here to get quick edit and make sure I uncheck uncategorized and then click on update. So I'll go through the rest of these and give them a category. So as I scroll up here, I can see that they now all have a category applied to them. And now the beauty of this is that people can navigate through your website a little bit friendlier. If a person's on your blog and you have several hundred blogs here, they might see one with images and say, oh, I'd like to see more of this style of blog. So under categories, they can click on images, and now the only thing that will show up here is just blogs that have images associated with them. Click on videos, and just the blogs with videos will be shown, which in my case right now is just the one. Let me show you. Earlier I had mentioned that you have the media library that you work with. So what you'll see is because I added things to individual posts, I now have a fairly full media library, and again it shows me how much room I have in here. So this is my media library. I can delete things here to make room, so if I know I'm no longer using an image, I can delete it, which I can do just by hovering over it and select delete permanently, or you can do bulk actions, put a check next to a couple different ones and then select it from here. Also in media, instead of library, you have add new, and this will look just like the page that you saw for adding images to a post or a page. The only difference here is you're not uploading them to somewhere specifically, you're just adding them to your media library, so that when you are making a post or a page, instead of selecting the option that says to upload them from your computer, you would select upload from the media library. And there's an option here to upgrade, pay money to video press, but so that you can directly embed your videos, but I showed you how to just embed them from YouTube, so that's completely free. Last thing I want to talk about here is managing comments. So if somebody makes a comment on one of your blogs, it will appear here, and if you set up correctly, as we talked about before, or whatever options you choose, it will send you an email letting you know that there's a comment waiting for you to look at. And then you have these choices right here. You can, this one's been approved already. It's a default one in here, but you can unapprove it. You can reply to it, and then their comments and yours will appear. Once you publish it, you can do a quick edit, so if they misspelled something, or let's say they did put a serious response but they also embedded an ad in it and you wanted to get rid of that, you can do a more of a serious edit to it. You can spam it, which this is a good idea if you're getting junk, because then WordPress can help block that person from going on to any WordPress site. And then you could say if it's just like a goofy comment, you don't want it to appear on your site, you could simply trash it.